Once upon a time, there was a young girl who was very lazy and didn't like to spin thread. No matter how much her mother begged and scolded her, she wouldn't do any spinning. One day, the mother grew so frustrated and angry that she couldn't hold back her feelings and ended up hitting the girl. The girl began to cry loudly. At that very moment, the queen passed by in her grand carriage. Hearing the girl's loud cries, the queen stopped, came inside the house, and asked the mother, "Why are you beating your daughter so badly that I could hear her cries from the road?" Embarrassed to admit her daughter's laziness, the mother replied, "My daughter is so eager to spin that she never wants to stop. She insists on spinning all day, but I'm poor and can't afford enough flax for her." The queen smiled and said, "Oh, I love the sound of spinning. It makes me so happy. Let your daughter come with me to the palace. I have plenty of flax for her to spin as much as she likes." The mother was delighted by the queen's offer and happily agreed. The queen took the girl with her to the palace and led her to 3 large rooms, each one filled from floor to ceiling with the finest flax. "Spin all this flax for me," said the queen. "When you've finished, you'll marry my eldest son. I don't care that you're poor, because your hard work is all the dowry you need." The girl was terrified, for she didn't know how to spin at all. Even if she had 3 lifetimes, she could never finish spinning all that flax. So, she sat alone in the room, crying and unable to even begin. For 3 whole days, she didn't touch the spinning wheel. On the 3rd day, the queen came to check on her progress. She was surprised to see that nothing had been spun yet. The girl quickly explained, "I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I've been so sad about leaving my mother that I couldn't start." The queen was satisfied with this excuse but said firmly, "Tomorrow you must start, my dear." The girl was left alone again, feeling more helpless than ever. In despair, she went to the window and looked outside. She saw 3 strange women walking toward her. The first woman had a broad, flat foot. The second woman had such a large lip that it hung down over her chin, and the third had an unusually broad thumb. They stopped outside the window, looked up, and asked, "What's troubling you, dear girl?" The girl told them about her terrible problem. They listened kindly and then offered her their help. "We will spin all the flax for you in no time, but you must invite us to your wedding. You mustn't be ashamed of us, call us your aunts, and let us sit at your table." The girl quickly promised, "I give you my word, please come in and start right away." She let the 3 women inside, cleared a space for them, and they began spinning. The first woman drew the thread and worked the wheel with her broad foot. The second woman moistened the thread with her large lip. The third twisted the thread and struck the table with her wide thumb. Every time she struck the table, a perfectly spun skein of thread fell to the floor. The girl hid the 3 spinners whenever the queen came to check. Each time, she proudly showed the queen the piles of finely spun flax. The queen was thrilled and praised the girl's hard work. The 3 rooms were quickly cleared, and the 3 women finally left. As they did, they reminded the girl of her promise. "Don't forget to invite us, or your luck will change." When the queen saw the empty rooms and all the spun flax, she was overjoyed. She ordered the wedding to be prepared at once, and the prince was delighted to marry such a skilled and hard-working girl. He praised her to everyone, saying how lucky he was. The girl then told him, "I have 3 aunts who have always been kind to me. Now that I am happy, I don't want to forget them. Please let me invite them to our wedding and allow them to sit with us." The queen and the prince agreed, saying, "Of course, why not?" When the wedding day arrived, the 3 women appeared dressed in strange clothes. The girl greeted them warmly, saying, "Welcome, my dear aunts." The prince, however, was taken aback by their unusual appearances. He went to the first woman and asked, "How did you get such a broad foot?" "From working the wheel," she replied. "All the treadling made my foot so broad." Then he went to the second woman and asked, "Why is your lip so big?" "From wetting the thread," she answered. "Licking it over and over made my lip this way." Finally, he asked the third woman, "Why is your thumb so wide?" "From twisting the thread," she replied. "That's why my thumb is so broad." The prince was horrified and immediately announced, "Never will my beautiful bride touch a spinning wheel." And from that day on, the girl lived happily in the palace, free from spinning forever.